Yo, Dragon Ballers, quick break in the video to give a huge shout out to PPG, who is going above and beyond to make our organized play season the best that it can possibly be. I'm here on the PPG event management website. I'm going to link this down in the description, so all you have to do to sign up for any of these events is go down to that link. Next up is the Origins event, which is a huge one, guys. They have events going from Wednesday to Saturday. Practically every single day of the con, you can play a Dragon Ball Super event among other card games. It's going to be an absolutely incredible time. Next up, after that, we have an event in Denver, which is for the Pro Play Tour organized season. Not only are you playing for an invite to the Pro Play Invitational, but you're also playing for $2,000 guaranteed. And if you want to, guys, there is also a Team War event in that same weekend, and Team War is one of the best formats to play. If you haven't played a tournament with your friends, you absolutely have to do it. And then finally, an event that I know for sure that I'll be attending is the Too Many Games convention in Philadelphia. This is actually a regional for the regular Dragon Ball Super organized play season. So again, guys, super huge shout out to PPG. Secondly, this website is so awesomely laid out. All you have to do is go to this website. All these different tabs here will take you to the events you want to sign up for. I hope to see you guys there. Let's get back into the video. Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another deck profile. Today we are here with Tony, who won the Texas Akon Regional with Finn. Crazy unexpected result. But first of all, Tony, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. Thank you for having me on today.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to have you. You must be feeling real good off that W. So I think the question that everyone wants to know before we even see a single card in this deck, what made you decide to play Finn?
So the thing about that is Finn had been a pet deck of mine for a while, like I said in the post there, and I wanted to try out the new decks but didn't have the cards just yet. And I was thinking about going with Trunks Vegeta because I'm pretty good with that one, but then I decided, you know what, let's just go with Finn. And a good friend of mine, Ruben, he kind of convinced me. He's like, let's put Finn on the map.
Nice. So have you been playing Finn for a long time before, or did you pretty much just start putting it together for this format?
I've been playing it for a while before. Basically, I'm a big fan of the mirror chain. Wherever I can put that in, I usually do it.
Cool. Yeah, and I think that's one of the better game enders for black decks right now, especially with the hits to go Giozino. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a great meta choice because there are so many decks now that are relying on unisons, especially decks out of Ultimate Squad. So what were some of the matchups where you felt like Finn was like really favored that you played against?
When it comes to that, well, as we all may have known, is GT Goku. That was one I did have some favor in.
So did you play
another
against
one?
A lot?
Okay, good. I only played against one.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was my first time ever playing against the deck in general, so it was a little bit of both of us not knowing exactly what to do. Cooler. Yeah, Cooler was another one. That one, people already assume that, you know, the Absorber is going to be like the main play for that, but actually, I didn't even play it a single time. I actually played against Andres. He got second place. I believe he did the profile for his Cooler.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I didn't. The Absorber doesn't really come up against Cooler just for the fact that it's so easy for them to just replace those unisons.
Right. Yeah, that's.
I know a lot of people had a lot of questions on that Absorber, the 2-drop. Another one I came up on was another funny match was Janemba. It actually ended up topping the event as well. That was probably my hardest matchup of the day, to be honest with you, but the Absorber was able to steal off that unison, the Janemba unison that makes you basically mill an additional 2 every turn, and that was really helpful.
Gotcha. Awesome. So talking so much about Unison Absorber, let's just get right into the main deck here. So you're playing 3 copies of Unison Absorber, which I was a little surprised about. Did you feel 3 is the right number? Did you ever wish you had 4?
I felt 3 was perfect. It's searchable, and you know, if I really need it for certain matchups, I'm all for it. If not, then, you know, it just is what it is. It wasn't like the only matchup I really needed it like early game was against GT. Everything else is kind of get it when you need it.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't recommend 4 personally.
Got you. Another question I had. So, well, okay. Firstly, I want to go back to the leader because I guess this question leads into my next question. So, with the leader, you know, you have the ability to suck up a battle card, and that basically allows you to awaken early, right? Did you find that most of your opponents were like trying to play around that by not just letting a battle card sit out there early, or were you able to pull off this early awaken like pretty frequently?
So the cool thing about Finn is it makes people play very strangely.
Yep.
They'll play. You know, they'll play. Some people played correctly by, you know, playing their 1-drops and then comboing them off. I did get to awaken pretty early on a couple times, but sometimes it's not exactly what you want to do. Especially against like the more aggressive matchups, you kind of want to let them hit your life down to 6 or so before you just awaken like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, because sometimes I'm assuming the draw can be nice. The actual awaken at 4, draw 2 kind of thing.
Oh yeah, and a cool little tip for anyone who wants to play the deck is if they do have a battle card on board, you can swing at like a unison or so they can't combo off the battle card, get that free draw, and then awaken with it, absorbing the battle card.
True, yeah, that is very cool because you deny them combo step.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that leads to my next question. So, I was kind of thinking, if they don't have a battle card on board that you were able to suck up and spit it back out to them, whatever. I'm assuming you have to hard cast Unison Absorber most of the time, like at least the first time.
Yes. Most of the time I played it was through hard casting it.
Okay, yeah. So that's I just want people to be aware of that because I think people are going to say, well, and firstly, let's just establish this for everyone too. The effect of the card, even the way it reads, is kind of weird. If your opponent has a skillless battle card or unison card in play, that skillless that right there applies to both battle card and unison. So all the effects of the deck that say that has to be a skillless battle card or unison. So of course no one is going to play a skillless unison to the board. So yeah, you got to play this card, suck it up, spit it back out to them, just so people are aware of that. I know that was a big controversy, but go ahead.
And what I did have one person forget is that a token is considered a skillless battle card. So those blocker negates, sometimes if they leave them on the field, kind of regret it sometimes.
Yeah, blocker negates, even like the whole Toa deck as a whole is pretty good one. But
yeah.
All right, so let's move on past that card. We have Absorption of Doom, Finn's very own Dormant Potential. This card, I'm assuming, is just a huge MVP, right?
Oh yeah, it's one of the strongest parts about Finn.
Yeah, the fact that you have your own inherent Dormant is insane. Absolutely. All right, so we have our Toa Searcher. We have Finn the All-Absorbing. Okay, so let's talk about this whole package here. So we have the 8-drop Finn, we have our SS4 Bardock Unison, and we have Finn Evolutionary Premonition. So this is actually a new card that came out in set 16, I believe. Play it, draw a card, deflect barrier, so it's got good protection. And then Spirit Boost 1, you get to play your 8-drop for 0, but of course you have to invest the 2 energy into this card. So I guess my first question is, like, do you just always play the Unison on 2 and have a strategy for protecting it, or sometimes you have to play it on 3?
I can kind of show you like my, how I usually go about it. I just turn 1, I want to always cantrip with any of the 1-drops, so I play so many of them because, I like to just constantly keep that hand large. I usually keep it like around 14 cards or so throughout a game.
Yep.
So, turn 1, 1-drop, turn 2, you want to stick the Unison. If they're playing something very aggressive, then maybe not so much. And then turn 3, you want to stick that 2-drop Finn. So then with 4, you can get into your Mirror Chain and the Finn in the same turn.
Right, that
you can
part is
really put some pressure.
Yeah, the fact that you can go into both is absolutely insane. Funny enough, I actually played a game or two with this deck yesterday. Obviously, you put the deck on the map. I wanted to try it out. And yeah, sometimes it's quite annoying when my opponent could remove the Bardock Unison easily. But of course, in that case, you gotta know kind of okay, I can't really play this safely on 2. It's definitely about knowing the matchup in that case.
Of course.
But yeah, so now we go over to Mira Vows to the Creator, which has been bought out thanks to you. So yeah, this card's absolutely insane, allowing you to go into Creator Absorbed. I think this is one of the best game-ending engines in Black right now. You have anything you want to talk about with it?
Oh, well, just, I used to love playing Toa back in the day, and then when this promo got leaked, I just immediately went and bought my 4, and been trying to play it ever since. Even if it wasn't like my main deck, I was always had it with me.
Yeah,
it's just very powerful, and as soon as you play it, like I was telling some other my teammates and friends that it demands respect when you play that promo. Like they have to answer it right then and there because dealing with the mirror is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, 100%. And the crazy thing too is like if they kill your Creator Absorbed and you just have another Vow to the Creator in hand, wow, that's 3 in the drop. You overwhelm, and then you just get to do it all over again. Like that's actually kind of nuts.
Yes, and people throughout the day were trying their hardest to remove the 7-drop, and it's like that's fine. Just give me the pieces back.
Yeah, like it's crazy how like synergistic that whole thing is in the drop area.
It's really strong. Yeah, really strong.
Moving on to some other stuff. Pan, I did have a minor question about this, just compared to Kai of Time, right? Because this deck is all about Unison control, it seems like, for the most part. But I guess, I don't know, would you say you have enough Unison control where you want to play Pan for the free aspect, or were there other SCRs you were considering?
I was actually back and forth between those two, Kai and Pan. I ended up just going with Pan. It lets me tap out and be more aggressive in certain situations, versus Kai, you need to be a little bit more defensive with it. So that was ultimately like my main reason, but either one works great with the deck. I've played with both before. This time I leaned more towards Pan.
Gotcha, makes sense to me. And then another card that's really cool in your main deck is Deborah Darkness Perfected. So this card reads pretty weird. I'm just going to explain it real quick for people. So during your opponent's turn, when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it can't attack or activate skills for the duration of the turn. So this is black rather's best case type of thing. I want to say like Cold Bloodless, but it's not really Cold Bloodless because it doesn't actually stop on play autos. You have to kind of know the mechanics of Dragon Ball Super to understand that. But what were the main things that made you want to main deck this card?
Any kind of boss monsters. If you notice that a lot of decks, they go really tall right now with their main bosses, and for example, U7, probably arguably one of the best decks in the format at the moment. All those big 8 drops that they're playing, hit it with the Deborah, absorb them the following turn. That was kind of the game plan.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense to me, absolutely. And then we have our one of Brainwash for the sneaky protection. We have a one of Thwarting, which is pretty funny. Do you find it worth to play like these 3 Gokus? I mean, yeah, they're cantrips, which of course you said you like to have a turn 1 cantrip. But like, do you find it worth to play them just for the Thwarting, like that whole potential play?
Yeah, so when we get into the side deck, a card that I may be moving into the main deck would be the 8 drop Thwarting.
Oh, okay.
And
I see.
very much needed the name. So yeah, that came up a lot. Almost every game I played, I cited those big guys in, and that needed the names, of course.
Gotcha, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But firstly, I want you to talk to me a little bit about why the one of Mira Unison.
Okay, so mainly because Finn very much is reliant on their Unison. So if the Bardock keeps getting cleared, I wanted another Unison that's a little bit harder to deal with. And I ended up going with the Mira. May have not been the best choice. I did cite it out a lot. But the one game I played it just kept producing free tokens and free advantage, and it was pretty crazy. But I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to continue playing that Unison right there.
Gotcha.
It was pretty good though. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we will go on to the side deck then. So might as well start with the SS4 Thwarting. So you said you brought this in quite a bit, huh?
Almost like every other game, yeah. I brought that in a lot. It's probably going to try to find its way into the main deck. Main reason for it is because when you play the promo Mira, it usually will get answered. So then you just follow up with this, since the Mira doesn't take any energy commitment to play. So at that point, they expended their counterplay, and then now you have this guy.
That is pretty cool, actually. Yeah, because you're setting up your big turn 4 with a free battle card, right? So yeah, if they kill it, now you have 4 more energy. And a lot of times in red too, let's just say red, like let's say they use Vegeta Resolve Renew to stop this, they're probably tapping out for that play, right?
Yeah, they usually leave one open just for that Vegeta, and then you have the Thwarting play, so it works out that way.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool bait and switch. I like that a lot. Okay, we have one of Crimson Hero Strike, gives you some removal, defensively, gets you some drop area set up. We have Koitsukai for all your various decks that play cards during your turn, yellow, arrival decks, stuff like that. Deborah for hand control. Yeah, man, I guess hand control is making a slight comeback. How often did you bring Deborah in? Did you face a lot of green?
Just against the cooler, Andres, RIP, man, I am sorry, but I did get both of them against him when I needed to.
Yeah, he actually mentioned that.
It was,
yeah.
Yeah, no, it was rough. I kept one pre-mole and then drew into another one, and then once he played the Rosie, I believe it was, then yeah, I had both.
Gotcha. Jiren for the long game blue decks. Talk to me about Dark Plot. I used to love this card back in the day.
Yeah, same. I actually had a foil since like it came out, and I decided to throw it in mainly for that same reason. Like I said, is people want to answer that Mirror promo when it comes out, so the Dark Plot just is a follow-up. If they answer with that first one, if you've already gone through one in your warp or so, bring out that one, and you can still do the mirror chain.
That is such a funny play. Did this actually ever work out for you?
Oh yeah, it came up 2 times actually throughout the event.
Dang, that is pretty dope.
I would normally put that in against any kind of slower matchup or any kind of mill matchup, because if anything, it's a 5th mirror.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the fact that mirror only costs 3, like this gets you 3 energy back, like that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
3 Super nice. Kamehameha, stopping your opponent's floodgates and whatnot, and 3 petrification. I mean, I know this was sideboard best of 1, but like in a best of 3, would you consider maining this card or just keeping it in the sideboard?
I would try to main 1 or 2. It's just probably one of the strongest card that Black has available to it. Yeah, so for sure. Definitely so, especially in this deck here where you can lock something down with petrification and then absorb it the following turn. It is really strong.
Cool. All right, so that takes us to the whole main deck, Tony, and the side deck. So I know we talked like about a few things, like maybe this mirror unison, but any other like notable changes you think you would make for those listening?
As far as that, like I said, try to move the Thordings into the main deck. The brainwashing, sometimes I'm not even sure if I didn't resolve it a single time throughout the event. It's more so just the knowledge that Black has that available to them that kind of scares people.
Yep.
So I'm not 100% sure if I'll keep the brainwashing and maybe that mirror. Those might be the two that get switched out for the thwarting. But besides that, I think the deck's pretty solid. Like I said, you can play around with the Secret Rares, Kai, or Pan, and I think it's a really strong deck for this format. It catches people a lot off guard, but as more people become aware of it, they can play a little bit better around it. But draws a lot of cards, does what it needs to do, so it's still strong.
Awesome, man. Well, Tony, super huge congratulations taking the first W of the Ultimate Squad format. Any shout outs you want to throw out there?
Of course, man. I want to shout out my team, PvE. You know, we had Eric top as well with his Toa deck, and then not too long ago we had Ivo get that second place. So we're working our way through there, man. You're going to definitely see us at Nationals, and I also want to shout out my San Antonio guys, all of our Texas guys. I'm real close with all of them, all the Dallas, people, El Paso, etc. Even I want to shout out the Oklahoma guys. It was nice meeting you guys. It's just always fun to travel and see all the people again. So shout out to all those guys who helped me test and that are always there.
Awesome, man. Once again, super huge congratulations, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.